October 6th, 2013. Alright, 1983. This had been within the first year after I moved to Minnesota. Moved up in 82. So 83 was just a few months later. And a lot of stuff happened in 83. I actually graduated. It'd be the graduation class of 82, but since 82 goes into 83, it's actually 1983 that I actually got my diploma. So a couple of years after I should have got it, 1980, I did successfully complete, pulled up the records. Oklahoma, I still had like English and some of those basic classes still had to be taken. English and remember I took some Minnesota history, which was required. They stuck me in a couple of spelling classes. I remember they had the college there, because the courses that I finished were through the community college, the high school. So I didn't actually have to go to Wilmer High School, but through Wilmer High School, through the college, I did get the actual diploma. So my diploma says Wilmer, Minnesota. But through the college there, they had some good courses. Because I remember I'd bring home and stuff, and I was really surprised that I was able to cram, because I had like a year and a half to finish, and cram that into one year, a few months over the winter, and got it done, which was an achievement for me. But 83, I talked about a concert last night. It was just a local one right there in Wilmer. I was still within that year of probation after I moved up. Gordon got me into a probation rehab course, so I was still going through that, and had met another guy there, because I didn't really know anybody in Wilmer yet. So and I thought it was you kind of look at it as, well, he's in rehab and I'm in rehab. You don't get two people in rehab. It's usually not a good recipe for success. But the way I looked at it is that we both were struggling to stay, keep straight and keep clean, and we would kind of monitor each other. So Gordon took it as let's just see how it plays out and see where it goes from there. One of the first cars that Gordon bought me was a Firebird. I'm going to say it was a 70. Late 70s, because it wasn't the newer, sleeker style that you'd see like the early 80 models, but the older style Firebird. It been in Minnesota for quite a long time, so it really had a lot of rust, but it was a car that I did want to own at some time, and it was very sporty looking. I remember some of the kids at the junior college there, I wasn't familiar with the terms, but I remember pulling in the parking lot, and they kept telling me, turn them over. I didn't know what that was, and you got to remember this was, an Okie came up north. I remember walking down the halls, and I was still wearing my cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and I remember my boots clicking as they walked down the hallways there in the school halls. So I just kept saying, turn it over, and I said, what is that? They said, peel out, burn some rubber. And it's like, I've never really been a speedster, roadster, so it's like, no, I can't do that. And even if I wanted to, and I think it was an automatic, so usually you gotta have a stick so you can really rev it up and get the RPMs going and then pop out the clutch. That's why on a sports cars, it's the first thing to go is they burn up the clutch. But didn't turn them over for them. But one of the first concerts that Gordon let me go to in the cities, and I wasn't familiar with cities, so he really wouldn't want me going by myself. But with this new friend that I found, met, he knew where the concert arena was, so he let us venture to go see it. And there was Pat Benatar, and I was just looking up the history. The song I'm going to play is "Love Is a Battlefield." She released a live album in '83, and one of the original live music of her existing music. And she was kind of a crossover from the 70s. She had some hits in the 70s there, and then some hits there in the early 80s, and was able to cross over from the one of those that crossed over. It was really a good concert. I really enjoyed it. They had a couple other bands play. You think of them at the moment. But they were I know one had like a one-hit wonder of that time. I remember, I can hear it in my head, but I'll have to look it up and play that for you. The other one was one group that did Sister Christian. I just seen them. We just seen them here recently when TJ and I went to that Journey Foreigner concert, and then they were the third group that opened up the act. I remember hearing them as we was walking into the stadium, Sister Christian. But Pat Benatar was, like I said, it was a really good concert. One of the things that stuck out about that concert was the drummer. I talked about one of my logs. I talked about drummers and how they're kind of not seen. They're kind of part of the band, but do you really get to know them? There's some of them that become singers and step out in front of the stage and make a name for themselves. But this drummer was he was totally wild. I remember him standing on top of the chair and just beating the drums crazy. He was just a fiery redhead, and he was just so active. I remember always my eyes being pulled to him. He was kind of an act within an act, and never forgot that. But it was interesting to be able to go and venture into the city, because I hadn't been into the big metropolis. But that was the first one I got to go to, and I was with somebody else, and what happened to him is that I remember it was either we was hanging out one time. This had to be after the concert, not that specific time after the concert, but maybe a day or two later, and we went to one of the local bars and played a game of pool. That's where the pool halls were. And Gordon specifically said, do not go to any bar. And I was honest, and he asked me one time what we did, and I said, we went to play some pool. And he said, where? And I said, at such and such. And he said, that's a bar. And I went, yeah. And he said, well, then can't hang around him anymore, because specifically told you not to do that. And even though we weren't drinking, he or I, it was just not the proper place to hang out if you're going through rehab. And it was just to avoid. I know that first year was, like I said, I was kind of on probation and very heavily monitored. Gordon kept a pretty good eye on me, and that was something that he didn't go for and wouldn't allow, and I respected his wishes of not continuing on the relationship. So, but that was some of the things that happened in 1983. I know there's a few concerts after that, and we still lived in Wilmer, and I'll talk about those later. But just kind of reminiscing some of the early days that I remember. In 1983, that was 30 years ago. But I really liked the song. Pat Benatar had a lot of good hits. Hit Me With Your Best Shot, and this one, Love is a Battlefield. So this was in the 80s. And what I liked about this song was just the whistling. So toward the end of the song, and it was a popular song because it played on MTV a lot. Music videos definitely started to hit their peak in the early 80s. And this was a big hit for her. But like I said, just released in 1983 off her live album. But whistling and the drum beat is just, if he's around, you'd remember it. It's just so popular. The drummer, Trevor 6, 20.